They're learning English on Rosetta Stone, which is a key for them in their future to learn English, much like our southern neighbors learn English in order to have job opportunities here. That's also true in Cambodia. And there's other programs we've loaded that they're working on. No internet yet. We haven't figured out how we want to do that. I wanted to show you what the government school classrooms look like. Government school, public school is free, but they're only half day. And you're required to have a uniform to go to school, and you have to have pencils, none of which the school provides. So if your parents can't afford a uniform or pencils, you don't go to school, which is why almost half the kids in Cambodia don't get an education. So that cycle of poverty just continues over and over again. By the way, most kids in Cambodia, when they do go to school, are behind grade level significantly. A little 11-year-old boy I just mentioned, and his 4-year-old sister, he just started school just this last month for the first time in his life. So part of our job is not only to get them in school and give them a good education, but we have a lot of remedial work to do. So that classroom, this building will become classroom space, computer lab, and we're hoping to supplement what they get in the public school system by spending a good part of the afternoons with our own teachers. So, Antioch. I leave in about 2 weeks to head back again. And we're going to break ground on phase 1 of construction there, which will include, well, if I can point out in this photo or this rendering here, the green roofed building in the lower left is the church that I mentioned, doubles as our assembly area. To the right is the 2-story building the kids currently live in, which will become classroom space. Right behind that is a new kitchen facility, and right behind the church, a new toilet facility with good sanitation, which is sometimes quite rare in Cambodia. Actual toilets and sinks and showers. And then in the back, there are 8 homes that we're going to build. First phase, including just 4 of those houses. Each house will hold 8 children with house parents. So we're in the process of looking for house parents. What a challenge. People in Cambodia, by and large, don't know how to be parents. They didn't have examples. They weren't raised by a father or a mother. There's a lot of hitting and violence in Cambodia, so kids are accustomed to that. So part of what we'll do is recreate a home environment with kids, a mom and a dad, and a place kids will be safe and loved and educated with good nutrition, enough food to eat, health care, which is difficult to find there, and also help build capacity in parents, maybe help them start a small business, but grow a family from the parents on down. Now you might imagine that it's difficult to build things in Cambodia. I mean, I can do that pretty well here, but there's some challenges to planning and building things there, and JD can attest to this. We've sat through a lot of meetings with contractors and others in Cambodia. Language barrier, number 1, everything is translated. It has plenty of opportunity for misunderstanding. Everything's in the metric system, so that's an adjustment for us. And then there's this thing called UXO. I wasn't aware of what a UXO report was when I first went there, but I'm helping an organization called Asian Outreach build a new 2-story training center in this place called Stung Treng. It's on the Mekong River, over close to the Laotian border. And before we could break ground, we were required to get a UXO report. That is ammunition, a live RPG. Because of the war that took place there, there are still some 6 million landmines and bombs in Cambodia. So you don't want to break ground and start digging for things without knowing that that's out of the way. So that's just a small part of what was found on that particular property. And that's live, by the way. Those are live grenades. So there's about 70 to 75 people a year still killed by landmines and bombs in Cambodia. So, and by the way, that's not a problem at our property. We've brought in a lot of filters, so we won't have to go down into native soil. I wanted to show you this picture because these are our kids, not all of our kids, but most of them. Those uniforms you bought. Modesto Rotary Club provided a $2,000 grant earlier this year for sports equipment. There's some musical instruments so they get music training, and for educational materials. You can imagine how excited these kids were to put these uniforms on for the first time, so thank you for that. Linda and I were challenged a couple of years ago when we were having lunch one day with a woman who's been working in Cambodia for 25 years to go upstream and find the source of the problem. We couldn't build enough buildings to house all the kids that we could take in. So I began to do that. I've been to most of the provinces in Cambodia, very difficult places to get to, eating some very interesting and strange things. But looking at these villages and what is it we could do out there that might kind of slow the tide of kids coming to our place, coming to Phnom Penh, going to Thailand. And everywhere I went, everyone said the same thing: I just want a job. That's what they say. The poor say this all over the world, not just Cambodia. If I just had a job and could care for my family, then Dad wouldn't have to go to Thailand. The family would stay intact. So we began to look for ways to put people to work. And I can tell you, I love this stuff. I love to grow businesses. I like to start things. So this is perfect for me. And so we found, I almost neglected to mention that this is another example of a small village called Prakho, where everyone lives in that top right picture over this black, dirty, mosquito-infested water. So all the kids, top left, are all sick, malaria and measles and you name it. Linda held all of them, by the way, everyone. All just incredibly desperate for love and attention. The little kids at the bottom were a family who were eating one plate of rice with one spoon. Child would take one bite, pass the spoon, next child would take one bite. Food was done, they're done. That's Cambodia. So again, this is where our kids are coming from. So when we began looking for things to do to put people to work, I mean, you can imagine the difficulty. There is no infrastructure. If you could produce a product, there are no roads to carry it on. There's no electricity to power anything, unless you're in a big city. But it's the people out in the villages that need the work. So the couple on the top, I apologize for how small the slides are, is Saran and Sofanet, dear friends of ours that have become part of our family. And turns out Sofanet is a master seamstress. As I began asking people 3 or 4 years ago, how can I help you find something to do? I want to help you do something for your family. I don't want to just give you money. It's very hard for them. She came to me because it's usually the women of the world that care for their kids enough to take the initiative and find a way to help them. We guys can tend to leave and go drink beer somewhere, right? She said, would you give me a small loan? That's all I want, just a small loan. I want to buy sewing machines and put 5 widows to work in our village. So we did a little business plan and figured out where the market was and what they would make, and a little loan agreement. We bought 5 machines. We went to 8, and then to 12, and then now 20. In 2 weeks, we plan to break ground on a new building that's fully funded there to house 30 machines and train additional women and have 30 families providing for their children. It's a remarkable success because they've made it a success. All we did was just give them this little helping hand so they could do what they're good at. So I'm looking for more Sofanets, I'm looking for more Sarans. They're hard to find, by the way. People with initiative and some skills that want to invest in the lives of their own citizens rather than to get wealthy themselves. So 5 years ago, I went to Cambodia for the first time. I had left my career Didn't really know what to do when I got there, except that my heart broke for those people and I wanted to help them. My faith in Christ compels me, motivates me to help others. So I was looking for a way to do that. And wow, did I walk into a place that has plenty of opportunity. So Cambodia fits me perfectly. It fits Linda perfectly for what we do. I'm energized and excited every time we go. I can't wait to get back. And I'm always kind of sad to leave when we come home again, but we've got grandchildren here that miss us an awful lot. So I'm very passionate about what I do. I wish I had more time to tell you some personal stories of these people and the incredible hardships. By the way, Saran, one of you was talking about the bear. When Saran was a boy of 9, his parents were taken away. His dad was executed during the Pol Pot years. His mom, he didn't see for 14 years until he was 23 years old. But he was, Khmer Rouge took him to a commune where 500 boys lived, working 20 hours a day to pick up cow dung. And he was caught eating a piece of corn one day that he wasn't supposed to. So they accused him from stealing from Angkor. He said, no, this is my father's garden. I said, you don't have a father, your father's Angkor. They bound him on a pole, bound his hands and his feet, tied him, he says, like a deer in the forest. They took him deep in the forest, they tied him to a tree, took all his clothes off, and they put red ants on him. And he endured that for a couple of days. Saran's story is typical of so many people that we know in Cambodia. So many, and yet they're remarkable, they're resilient, they're strong, and we love them, and we love to be with them. So it makes it easy for us to be there and to do what we do. So I want to thank our board of directors and all of you as a club that encourage Linda and me, and to our supporters that make it possible for us to go over there. And lest you think we have no fun, because this is a fairly grim story, I want to tell you that we have a blast when we go. A lot of you have been there. Isn't that true, Britta and Jeff? We have a great time. There's this place in Siem Reap, the city where Angkor Wat is, that has an area called the Night Market, Pup Street. And I have a little short video I'm going to share with you to prove to you that you should consider perhaps coming to Cambodia with us, maybe supporting what we do, being a part of this great fun that we have in helping change lives in Cambodia. So we'll see if we can tee this up. Uh-oh.
Oh, darn.
We might not see the video.
It's on the thumb drive, guys, so if you have to see this. It worked. Let's give him a round of applause. Well, wow, that's an amazing story, John. Thank you so much for sharing with us and for all the good stuff you do. So we have our gift of some almonds for you. And I want to present you with one of our Gift to the World pins because I think you are a gift to the world. So thank you for all that you do.
This is the fish tank in Siem Reap. Am I correct in that that's sort of a Cambodian pedicure?
That's exactly what it is.
I'm going to try that someday. That was something. So thank you, John. That was a great program. We appreciate all the good work you do. Happy birthday, October birthday.